What's up, guys? Good morning and welcome back to the channel. It is another beautiful day, as you can see, out here in Glamis, California. We're out here at Glamis FAB with Joe and the boys, and this is the last hurrah, guys. We are closed. Hang on. I'm coming. We are closed after this, so we're gonna go on a last hurrah. We got Cletus's car out here. I'm gonna rip it one more time, and we're gonna go in and see what's going on here at the shop. This is Dr. Parker's San Lomo Baja truck. What's going on, fellas?
Hanging out, another day in paradise.
So what's the lowdown on this truck, Joe?
1,200 horsepower, violent. That's the best way to say it.
So this is the end of the season. Last day here. We're closing up. As you guys can see, the shop's packed up. How was the season?
Really
good?
Yeah,
we had a good season.
we did a lot of destruction.
Yep. And we'll be back next season to do some more. So yeah, that's it, guys. So if you want to get a hold of Joe and get your car worked on, that's the number to call. Right there. If you guys need maintenance work in the summer, give Joe a call. He'll take care of you. So like I said, we're going to take Cletus's car out for another rip today. We got some friends out here. So just make sure this thing's dialed in. I showed you guys in the last video. It's good to go. So I'm not going to show you much coverage on this. But yeah, guys, last day out here at Glamis FAB. Season's over. And if you guys are planning on coming out here into the dunes, just remember the only resources that are here is the store. And they're only open till about 3 o'clock every day. So now that the season's closed, most of the vendors down there, let me zoom in, they're pretty much packed up and on their way out of here. Looks like Big Belly Crew's still here. So if you need firewood, they're still here. And you also don't need a permit to come back out here this weekend. But like I said, guys, the resources are very minimal out here. It's got longer response times if somebody gets hurt. So you got to be careful.
I want to take these off. What's going on back there?
All right, guys, so we're back over at the shop again. Had a cool little rip. Had one problem with Cletus's car, needed a fuel filter. They left a paper filter on it with the 85, which is not good. We pulled it out and it's good to go. And now we got Joe sitting passenger in one of his own creations. Pretty freaking cool. So this thing had a stuck lifter in it. We took it apart, pulled the valve cover off, unstuck the lifter, and it pumped back up, and it's good to go, running good now. So Dr. Parker and Joe Fab are gonna go for a little ride. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap it up for the 2024 season out here at Glamis FAB. I wanna thank you guys again so much for watching, sharing, liking the videos. We really appreciate that here at Glamis FAB, and we appreciate you guys. It's been a hell of a season. Wedo's closing up the gate for the last time. Joe's in the shop just closing things out. We're gonna be closing the door for the last time of the season, but we can't wait for October 1. Yeah, we cannot wait for October 1 to see you guys back out here. It's been a hell of a season. Joe's got his bug of salt. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. We're back at home in my shop. We're back from Glamis. Okay, so our tubular core support came in earlier today. As you guys can see, it's already dark out. I got home from work a little late, but I came out here and just kind of bolted it up and mocked it up. It did not exactly fit like perfect. I had to do a little finagling to get it to bolt up in the right holes, but I do believe that this frame rail's pushed over a little bit. Somebody back in the day helped me do this intercooler piping right here, and they took a sledgehammer to my frame rail and knocked all this in, and it bent the entire front frame horn. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I got the tubular core support on. Headlights are back in. I just got it all kind of mocked up in here, but dude, guys, look at how much room for activities there is in the front here now. The only thing that's got to go back in here is my radiator here. I got to figure out where I'm going to bolt my overflow tank, probably back in the stock location. And then I got to put some tabs down here on the traction bar for the lower radiator mount. And I saved these. I drilled them out of the old core support. So what we'll do is we'll cut them off about right here, and then we'll weld them right on there. And you can actually get in the bottom and rosette weld these and get that radiator bolt back in, and this thing will be good to go. But way more room, freed up a bunch of metal out of the front of the car. I still got to do a little tune up on these, and then I'm gonna cap these off. So what you do is I can just take a piece of steel, cut it square, and then I'll rosette weld it from behind in a few spots, and it'll hold it on there. My intentions were never to make this a full-on drag car, so mean, it'll have a tubular core support as long as I own it. But if anybody ever wanted to put a real Honda core support back in this thing, I like to leave these holes available so that core support will go back on. And then you rosette weld it and you could have an OEM core support. But now the bottom of that core support was actually bent in. So my radiator was pushed up and the hood wouldn't close properly. So that's gonna be all fixed. And then I've got tons of clearance room now for my charge pipe. And I'm actually thinking that I might, the wastegate dump's a little close. And my wastegate dump, this whole setup was from a long time back in the day, guys, like long ago. And still a rev hard top mount manifold, really cool. This wastegate dump was made for a street car. You can see it dumps down there by the tire. And I'm just thinking about hood exiting it. It won't be too hard to make a few cuts and run this up. I heard a couple horror stories about guys with dump tubes that dump under the car. And somebody put a rod out, car backfired, wastegate was open, dumped a spark out the bottom of the car and lit the oil on fire. So kind of a safety deal. So I may be turning this to an up pipe and putting it right here next to the to my regular exhaust up pipe. And it makes for cool flames when you're on the two-step. So I don't know, we'll see about that. But for now, this thing's all wrapped up, or all mocked up, excuse me. And then we're gonna get back out here tomorrow after work and get the fender braces hooked back up, bolt the fenders back up, and old CHEBELLA is gonna get ready for race week, guys. Here we go. All right, guys, well, we're back out in the garage today and back working on CHEBELLA. As you guys can see, I got the tubular core support in. I got it all lined up. It does take a little finagling to get it to line up properly. Like I said before, I think you can see that I got beat with a sledgehammer. Anyhow, got the core support lined up, got the headlights in, got everything lining up. I got the factory bolts down here in the headlight bracket, so they're nice and solid. And I went ahead and took these off the core support, and I went ahead and tacked them in. Got the radiator lined up so everything clears good, and actually made room for the stock overflow, which is kind of cool. I was even able to use the part of the OEM bracket to hold it in there. So this is going to be way cleaner, much nicer up front here. And then since I'm going to have Brandon over here taking my cage next week, I may redo the upper charge pipe and the wastegate dump. I may run the wastegate dump up top like I told you earlier. But in the meantime, I'm going to pull this radiator out, get these things fully welded up, and start working on a top mount. All right, well, I pretty much got the front end wrapped up. I got to do the hood latches still, but I got the bumper back on. The biggest problem we always have with these is these. Let me get you guys under here. I'll show you the other side. These bolts that go through here, they always rip out. So I made this little metric all thread deal with a quick release in the front there that'll hold the bumper on better. They don't look too shabby, and this front bumper is pretty beat anyways. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I do have a fiberglass 3-piece front end for this car. I got a front bumper sitting up there. I'll get around to putting that on eventually, and then the fenders are right there. But in the meantime, I kind of like the stock look of the front end, just kind of unsuspecting. So, hey guys, that's about it for today. I'm going to wrap it up out here in the shop and go kick back. I got the radiator mounted and in. And everything's done in the front, so we're just about ready to move on to the cage. What's up, guys? So we are back in my shop again today out here in Mesa, Arizona, and we are working on CHEBELLA, getting her ready for Rocky Mountain Race Week and the PFI event that's at Pueblo. So we ran into a little bit of a problem with this. I know I showed you guys a bunch of updates in the last clip, everything we were doing to the front end, and the problem we ran into is that old CHEBELLA is just going a little bit too fast. And by too fast, I mean she's going too fast for this old 4-point roll bar. This car will only certify to 10.0, and fortunately, boys, she's going a little faster than that. So, reached out to my buddy Jason over at Whitfield Racing, and he hooked us up with this 8-point cage. Certifiable to 850. You get your main hoop and all your bars. You can select which bars you want, whether you have interior or no interior. Comes TIG welded. That's already done for you on the main hoop, but you've got to TIG weld in the rest to make it certifiable. Comes with the mounting plates, so we'll TIG weld those to the floor. And we'll get old CHEBELLA here certified to 850, and then I will never have to worry about how fast she's going and the cage being certified. It was really cool to run out to California, see my old friend Jason. Him and I used to race the NHRA Sport Compact Series back in the day. I don't know if you guys know him or not. He had the world's fastest single cam at one time. It was that green CRX with these cool graphics. I'll put a picture of it right here in the video. Really cool car, cool graphics, and I want to say he was the first one to run a 10-second pass in a single cam. I know it was labeled the world's fastest single cam. And then he had moved on and did some racing with some manufacturers with GM. I think he had a Cobalt that he was doing some factory drag racing with them back in the day when all the big manufacturers were starting to get involved with NHRA Sport Compact. So it's really good to see him. It was cool. Hung out with him for an hour or so, caught up. And then, like I showed you guys, he hooked us up with this cage. Really, really awesome product. It's all chrome moly. Brandon, our TIG welder extraordinaire, is going to come over here and TIG weld all this in for me because, like you guys know, I can weld, but Brandon is a welder. I've got a MIG and a decent TIG. I can stick two pieces of metal together, but Brandon can do that for me. So that's what we're gonna have him do. That way I just don't wanna have any issues, you know. It'll get certified and I won't have any problems. It'll be nice and safe. I'm really not disappointed with having to take this cage out, to be honest with you. It's for my safety and the safety of, you know, anybody who's in the car with me. So it's gonna make things a little bit tighter, but I did choose the no interior cage, which means the main hoop runs up really high, like 2 inches taller, or 1.5 inches or 2 inches taller than this one. And it's gonna save me a lot of room because I'm running no headliner. And then I did select the option for bent door bars because I'm running an OEM panel. So the door bars will come off of this area and go that way, and they'll curve right around the door. So gonna make old CHEBELLA a little harder to get in and out of, but gonna be much safer. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing taken off the lift, get the wheels put back on it first, take it off the lift. We're gonna get the old roll bar out, get seats out, carpet out, and get this thing ready for Brandon to do his magic on it. So guys, I know why a lot of you are gonna ask, why didn't we just build this ourselves, seeing that we have a tube bender and we have, you know, everything. That's what we do. We fabricate and build cages and do this stuff. The answer to that is time. The time it would have taken me to build this cage for this car, according to the NHRA rule book, I'm just pressed for time. I've got like 6 weeks left before Rocky Mountain Race Week, and this thing has to be ready to go. I've also got a new set of cams for this car, so it's probably gonna end up back on the dyno, so I'm gonna need to go a little bit early. So guys, we were literally just pressed for time. We took a 3-day cage job and turned it into about 5 hours by getting this cage set up from Whitfield Racing. So once again, guys, big shout out to Jason over at Whitfield Racing for hooking us up with the cage. And we're gonna go ahead and keep moving forward and getting this thing ripped apart. All right, well, as you guys can see, things have progressively gotten out of control here in the shop. I got the car stripped down, and there is a ton of seam sealer in the corners, so I'm having to wire brush them all out. I got the plates pretty much set up. That one's in there and bent. I got to clean all the seam sealer off of that one. I'm working on that one now. That one's finished up and ready to be welded, and I got to finish up in the front there. But for the most part, guys, it's coming along. Brandon's going to be over here tomorrow to start tigging this thing in, so I've got to get all the prep work done now because he'll be here tomorrow. All right, guys, so like I told you yesterday, we got Brandon over here now. He's firing up the old Vulcan Pro TIG 205. getting some rod out, and we're gonna get these, get the plates tigged in first, and then we'll start working on the main hoop, the front and back bars. So we'll get an honest opinion of this Vulcan ProTig 205 from a guy who welds every day for a living. Say we can move this. All right, we got to fire. All right, first two plates are welded in. That one and that one. Gonna move on to the fronts, and we'll get the main hoop tacked in. All right, as you guys can see, Brandon's taking off for the day. We got everything laid out and tacked in place. Door bars are just sitting there for now, but we got the main hoop in, door bar in over there, got the headbanger bars, got the down bars. Everything's tacked in except for the door bars, and we even tacked in one of the back bars. It's just sitting down there. So Brandon will be back tomorrow to do his thing and start taking this whole thing in. But you know, for the most part, the cage is, believe it or not, it's pretty straightforward. Jason did a great job of designing this thing, and you know, if you just follow the fish mouth on the tubes, it all just kind of drops right into place. So, you know, like I said, we'll get all this cleaned off tomorrow and get the plates welded in. I'll have to move my water tank, but yeah, man, gonna have my 850 cert cage in. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I know it's been a lot and all over the place from Glamis back here, but as of tomorrow, CHEBELLA is gonna have a cage, and she'll probably be pretty much ready for 850 cert. We'll catch you guys then, bring you back up to speed then. But thank you guys so much for watching. As always, make sure you give us a like and a subscribe, and we will see you at the drag strip.